Hi, this is Chris Doley from Steadfast Nursery. Today we're going to talk about scaling lily bulbs. Why would you want to do that when you can just go to the store and buy some? That's exactly what I did. I went to the store and bought some stargazer lilies, and they come in a package like this. Why would you scale them if you could just go buy them? Well, I'm going to tell you this. You can have as many lily bulbs as you want of a specific kind. This is stargazer. If you scale them, what does that mean to scale a bulb? If you look at a lily bulb, and I'll show you a close-up picture here soon, it kind of looks a little bit like a bloomin' onion, except for it's a little bit tighter. It has all these scales along the outside of it, and then the stalk, the flower stalk, comes right out of the middle, and it's fed by all these outside scales. Well, to scale a bulb is very easy. You look for the plump outer scales on the outside, and then you want to break them off as close to the basal plate, which is right here. That's where they all connect at the bottom. It's where the roots come out of the bottom. So you'll find a plump scale like this, and you'll just break it off as close to the basal plate as you possibly can. Let's find a few more of these. Don't take off too many per bulb, otherwise you won't have much left to make a flower stalk. But I think that one's done. I'll grab another bulb here. And this one's nice and plump right here. So I'll break it off really close to the basal plate. Put it in a little pile. I think I'll grab one more off this one too. Careful, they're a little brittle. Make sure they're not wrinkly or prunish, anything like that. Make sure that they're full and don't look unhealthy or anything like that. I'll do one more bulb just for the sake of it. And here's a nice one right here on the outside. I'll break that one off and break one here off. Alright, here's a close-up of a lily bulb. As you can see, this is what the scales look like. They do exactly look like that. They look like scales. Now I'll show you a close-up here how to scale this bulb. Now you see this is where the stalk comes out right there. And you see this one's getting ready to do that. It's already making new roots. But you can only do this while the bulbs are dormant. You cannot do this when they're still actively growing, because they've stored up all the energy from last year, and these outer scales here will be the healthiest and the thickest. So I just grab it like this, and I break it off as close to the basal plate as possible. This is the basal plate right here. And you see right there, that's exactly where a new bulb is going to be formed, right here, right where I broke it off. And you can put a fungicide, you can dust a fungicide on if you want. I really don't need to. I don't use a fungicide very often. But here's another. And then I'll take this one and plant this one, and I'll put these on my poly bag. And here, out of one bulb, I'm going to get 2, maybe 3 more little bulbs to continue to propagate. So you can keep an ever growing number of lilies to tuck into your garden just by scaling them. Now, this package came with 12. Now from that 12, just from 2 bulbs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 scales here. And each scale will make at least 1 new bulb. So how do you get it from this to this? Well, here I have a bag, a nice Ziploc bag, full of moist but not wet peat moss. You open it up and you drop them inside. And then I'm going to set this bag, I'll even mark on there what kind of lily it is and when I actually started this process. I'll take this bag and put it someplace warm but dark. I like to put mine in the cupboard over the top of our washer dryer. It's always warm in that room. And then in a couple months I'll check it, and you'll see tiny little bulbs, tiny white little bulbs with little roots coming off of it. Now here's another bonus. You go into the store and buy a bag like this. If you look around in the bag, you'll actually find that these bulbs will scale themselves. All the jostling from being shipped will break scales off, and then the scale will create a new bulb. And what are they sitting in but slightly moist peat moss. So we just do the same process. You can have as many as you want. Now the time frame from this to this is about sometimes 3 to 5 years. So some people say, no way, that's too long. But I know that in 3 to 5 years, I'm going to have maybe 20 or 25 lilies to plant out in my garden. And that'll be beautiful. A big stand of stargazer lilies, and that smell that comes off those lilies is amazing. So that is how you scale lily bulbs. This is Chris Stoley from Steadfast Nursery.